Good morning, everybody. We're standing today, Crystal and I, in front of our new sanctuary, which we hope to move into fairly soon. At the end of Corona, I reckon that the first service we're going to have is probably in here. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. Today we're talking about friendship. We're talking about relationships and chemistry that makes relationships work. And we're deriving this out of the book of Proverbs as we're seeking to find wisdom and how to make life work. One of the principal areas of life that comes under what we were doing was wealth, is the wealth of relationship. There is no richer person than a guy or a lady who, or a child or whoever who is wealthy with friends. We said yesterday that chemistry was a huge part of what friendship is about. Finding people who have the same vision, same goals, and that chemistry that is made up there. We call this aspect compatibility. Compatibility between people has to be one of the strongest factors that brings us together and keeps us together. Recently, I'm told, they did a survey on marriages, and they did a study of marriages that people who got married because they fell in love, and people who got married because of compatibility, where they were put together by a computer, by computer dating. And you probably guessed it, but computer dating beat love hands down. People who got married because of love found that love, romantic love, does not always last that long. And after romantic love has kind of faded a little bit, you ask yourself in a marriage, what's left? If you don't have compatibility, you could find yourself in a bit of trouble. But then they took it further and they said, well, what is it about compatibility that is important? And they came up with this thesis. They said that people who stay together over a long period of time are people who are compatible to the level of what they call the big one. The big one. That one thing that keeps you together. And you can disagree on the other things, and you can have different likes and dislikes, but you are compatible on the big one. And so you say, well, how do I know if I'm compatible on the big one? Tony Campolo does a great job at this, and he says you do this. You visualize your life as being like a triangle. And along the baseline of the triangle, you arrange everything that you love, everything that you like, everything that's important to you. So there's your career, there's your hobbies, there's your things that you love to do. And then he says, as you journey towards the apex of the triangle, the baseline gets shorter and shorter and shorter, which means that it can only hold fewer things. And so you've got to get rid of certain things as you move towards the apex. The question he asks at the end of the day is, when you get to the top of the triangle, there's only room for one thing. And the question is, what is it? Or who is it? That one thing that you will hold on to sacrifice everything else. When you find someone who has that same big one, that's serious compatibility. And then you can disagree on other things, and not necessarily likes and dislikes can be different, as long as you have the big one. This is where so many marriages fall down. They have the different big ones. Now, in the context of a good friendship, or especially of a marriage, again, visualize a triangle. And you put partner 1 on one side and partner 2 on the other side of the bottom line of the triangle, and then they want to get closer together, but there's a line between them full of different issues and likes and dislikes, and so they spend a lot of time trying to fix those things on the bottom line, and need to find that they can't change them. You can't change that person. You can't change their likes and their dislikes, because that's who they are. So you say, well, how do I get closer to the people that I want to get closer to? Very simple. If you put the big one that you share in compatibility at the top of the triangle, and as the people and the two of you on the corners journey towards the big one, what happens to the two of you? You get closer and closer and closer and closer together as you strive towards the big one. Those of you, this may sound simplistic. It is simple, but it's not simplistic. But it's a great source of conversation with those that are significant to you. I hope that you will look at this in the realm of friendship, because Proverbs talks about walking with people. It's a journey. It says that we walk with our companion. And it's not just an event, it's a journey. And for long-term journeys to be what they need to be and to arrive at a decent destination, you have to find the big one. Now, for me is the big deal. For me and for Helene and for many of my friends, God is our big one. And as we journey towards becoming more like God, we become closer and closer together. That's why, people, I love the church. That's why I'm looking forward to seeing this building full of people who are finding other people who share the same big one. And the depth of those relationships is going to be awesome. It's going to be great as people meet in cell groups. That's a great thing. Find your friends in cell groups in the church who share the same big one with you. And I hope you'll find that. Guys, have a great day. Thanks for listening to me in the early mornings. I appreciate the opportunity just to connect with you. God bless you. Have a great day. Let's go save the world.